In this lesson, we will understand what are constants in C. With that, we will also see its types and examples. Let us start. In C programming, constants are fixed values that do not change during the execution of a program. So these values cannot be modified once they are defined. They are also known as literals. Constants can be of various types such as integer, real, character and others. So let us understand these types of constants with examples. Let us start with integer constants. So these are whole numbers without any fractional and decimal part. That means it cannot have a decimal point and it cannot even have an exponent part. There are some rules to create integer constants in C. As I said before, it won't include any decimal point. It should have at least one digit in the integer constant, like digit 7, digit 20. It can be positive or negative. That means 20 or minus 20, 10, 23, minus 30. Okay. If there is no sign specified, then the default is positive. Just like I have mentioned below, 23, that means positive 23 and no sign is visible. Also in integer constant, you cannot have commas or blanks. And here are some examples of integer constants, like any positive or negative number without any fractional and decimal part. So guys, let us see the next constant now. Real constants are also known as floating point constants, and they are categorized into fractional and exponential form. So let us see them one by one. First, the fractional form. This form involves numbers with a decimal point to separate the integer part from the fractional part. Here are some rules. It should have at least one digit. There should be a decimal point like 23.5. It can be positive or negative. If there is no sign, then it is assumed to be positive. You cannot add commas or blanks in the real constant. Now let us see the exponential form of the real constants. This is used when the real constants are either too large or too small. That's why it uses small e or capital E to denote powers of 10. The constants are represented in two parts in exponential form. The part before e is called mantissa and the part after e is called an exponent. This scientific notation of small e or capital E is to denote powers of 10, making it easier to represent very large or very small numbers. So here are some rules for constructing real constants in the exponential form. The e should separate the mantissa and exponent. The mantissa can be positive or negative. Just like we saw before, if there is no sign, it will be assumed to be positive. There should be at least one digit in the exponent, which is positive by default. Here are some examples. In this we have used the scientific notation E, like 2.3E5, 7.5E3 and others. Now let us see the character constants. These are single characters enclosed within single quotes. Okay, for example, letter A enclosed in quotes, a number 9 enclosed in quotes. Okay. So here are some rules for constructing character constants. The maximum length of a character constant is one character. Like I just said, the letter A, the digit 9. It should be enclosed within left pointing inverted commas, which I just said single quotes. Any alphabet, digit or special character can be a character constant. So here are some examples. Letter A, digit 7, special character percentage. Okay. These are all character constants in C language. Now let us see an example to define constants. You can use the const keyword to define constants in C language. Let us see an example on VS Code. Here is our VS Code. We created a project, Amit project. So let us add a new file now. Right click, new file. I'll name it demo7.c. Okay, and now we will write our program. We have mentioned the header file, then the main function. Now I'll create a variable, let's say int a is equal to 50. Then I'll create a float variable, b is equal to 33.25, okay, and a character. Let's say I'll mention c only, or I can also add p, okay. Now convert it into a constant. So I told you to use the const keyword. Just precede. Okay. Now let us print them using the printf. For number we use %d and print a. I told you for integer we use %d. For float, because this is a float, I'll use %f /n and b. Last printf. Okay, sorry, I just did a mistake. That's it. For character, %c and /n. Now we have added, and this is also I'll fix. Now this looks fine. Okay, we added %f and it is a float. This format specifier is used for printing the float value. So the result you can expect as 33.250000. To reduce it, let's say you want only two values after the decimal. So instead of %f, mention 0.2f. Okay, now after the decimal there will only be two places. Okay, and that's it. Return 0. Save. Now in the previous program we added to run the code in terminal, but I'll change it now. Go to file. Like we saw before, go to preferences, then settings. Run in terminal. Search and uncheck this for code runner. Close this. File save. Now I'll run it. Right click, run code. So it printed. Here it is showing int and float in a single line. So I just missed the /n here. /n is for new line. We saw before also. Now this looks fine. Now 50 will be on the first line and 33.25 on the second line. Right click, run code. Here it is. Okay, 50 on the first line, then your 33.25 and then p. I told you since we added .2 f, only two decimal places are visible. Guys, we saw what are constants in C language. We also saw the types and ran a program to create constants in C language. Thank you for watching the video.